Yo, so today we got a question from a bro who wants to know, yo, Elliot, I got jacked up knees and I can't squat. What should I do instead? Great question, bro. Before we go, you ought to know my name is Elliot Hulse. I'm a strongman strength coach. I've been making men strong here on YouTube since 2007, dude. And you just discovered your new favorite fitness channel for men over 40. And if you want to work with me one-on-one to get jacked and lean for the second half of your life, then go to alphaschool.ai or click the link down below. I got something great for you on the inside. So, question from our Alpha School member, Keith White. Keith says, hey E, my question is regards to squats and lunges. You see, I suffered a serious injury back in high school, and now that I'm older, my right knee is not 100%. I've been to sports medicine professionals and they prescribed me to basically don't deep squat or lunge due to knee being really messed up. However, can you provide insight for me as alternative moves I can just do to keep my lower body strong? Great question, dude. So, a couple things I want to approach, but the first thing is I can see your picture, bro, and you got a big fat head like old Uncle Yo. Big chin. You look overweight. And so if you're overweight, your knees, which my mentor Paul Chak calls a slave joint, is going to take all the beating. Right? All the beating on your knees because all that eating that you're doing, dude. Lose weight. But hey, that's why you're here, right? So your question is, what should I do, Elliot? I'm actually trying to lose weight. What am I going to do? What should you do? You should do partials, dude. So the doctors tell you don't squat deep. And I'm here to tell you that the doctors are right. You don't need to squat deep. Not that there's anything wrong with squatting deep. Not that squatting deep will not be a good addition to somebody else's program, but for you, you should do partials. In fact, all dudes that are over the age of 42, I only said 2 because it rhymed, but 40 or 35, or anybody that's got jacked up joints should be doing partial moves. Let me describe what that looks like to you. So, partials in terms of squats. One of the best ways to do squats in a partial manner is to set up your power rack, right? So you got a power rack right there, so that you have pins, right? And the pins are in the power rack so that the bar doesn't go below the pins. Set the pins to where you can put a bar on your back and the pin sits on the back, sits on the bar, or sits on the pins, right? The bar sits on your back and the bar sits on the pins. Load up the bar and just stand up from there, right? Bang, it's gonna hit the pins, stand up from there, bang. And so if you notice, like I'm not squatting deep, I'm just doing a little bit of a baby bend, right? So I'm here, squatting, bang, I come up out of it. Squat partially, bang, come up out of it. And as you can imagine, when you're doing that short of a range of motion, you could load on the weight. You could load the weight on. You could put 315 on there and say, hey, look, my friends, I can squat 315 pounds. 3 plates, first time since high school. And although that is true, let me tell you, it's not the most prudent thing to do. But here's what I want to tell you. When you do partials, and especially when you're doing the end range of motion, you're going to pull a lot of the slack out of the joints that's causing its pain. One of my mentors like to say it's like tightening the spokes on your bike. If you haven't been using your knee in the proper way since high school, which is exactly what has been going on, right? You've got all kinds of muscular imbalances and compensatory movement patterns, and you just got deformities within your knee because of the injury that you sustained in 1993, kind of a guess there. So when you put on an appreciable amount of weight and you just do a partial repetition, when you come up out of it, you need to tighten your quads. You could even tighten and squeeze your glutes, right? What that's gonna do is gonna pull, this is sort of not entirely true, but I'm trying to like explain something to you. It'll pull your knee back into place. You're gonna have a better joint articulation. The way the joints articulate, right? It's like one of these. It's gonna sit in much better. If you got weak quads and tight hamstrings, like most people, your joint is gonna articulate like this. It's not gonna have an instantaneous axis of rotation. It's gonna be a little effed up. But when you come up straight up out of that squat and you tighten everything up, you squeeze your glutes and you tighten your quads, you're gonna put everything back in place the way they belong. So you're gonna, in a lot of ways, be healing your knee by doing partial squats. But let me go a little bit further. You could do the same thing with other exercises like deadlift. So if you want to work your hip hinge, you just set the pins. You set the pins at about knee height, maybe a little bit lower than knee. Put the bar on there, right? You want to pull your belly in and suck your anus up to lock the core, or you can wear a belt if you want to. But if you want to get the core engaged, and then you just set it on the blocks, or you set it on the pins, boom, and you come up out of it. Pin deadlifts. There's a guy, I forget his name, but like a classic bodybuilder strength, Bob Peoples. Bob Peoples would, to the day he died, and he was an old man, right? Because that's what happens when you're strong, you live long. He would do what he called a health lift. He called it his health lift, where he would load up a heavy barbell, put it in the pins, and he would just stand up with it. He'd hold it for like, I don't know, a couple seconds, boom, and then put it down. He did that every day until the day he died, doing a partial deadlift. Just lifting it, having the weight rest on him. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, but as far as squats are concerned, if you don't have good core strength, you could probably cause other problems. So, I was a little overzealous before when I told you in terms of adding a lot of weight to the bar. You want to make sure that you can do this with perfect posture, right? You want to engage the core, you want to draw the shoulders down and back, right? And then you want to bend, boom, and come up out of it. You could do partials for your upper body. When I had torn my bicep, I tore both my biceps. When I tore my right bicep, it didn't heal the way it should have and caused muscular imbalances in my shoulder. And as a result, for a long time, I couldn't squat, I couldn't bench press all the way down here. And so what I did was I did floor presses. You lay on the floor and you take either dumbbells or you take the bar off the power rack and you just stop at the floor and push up from there. Stop at the floor and push up from there. Because my problem was because of, basically it was chronic because I had an injury to my elbow that caused me to misuse my shoulder. I was able to actually heal my shoulder doing partials. Yours, you had like an acute injury to the knee, so this may or may not be the case, but you can actually heal your joints by doing partials. You can actually heal the joint because what happens is, number one, like I said before, you fix that joint articulation, but also you actually get stronger. I think there's like a 15 to 30% carryover in range of motion strength. So if you work within a range of motion, like this is just the range of motion I'm working in, you're actually getting stronger in this range of motion because just science has shown that there's a 15 to 30%, I think, don't quote me, crossover in strength. So if this is a graph, right, and you're just working within these, you're also getting strong out here too. Is this making sense? So that's it. That's all. That's my opinion on that, dude. You can do squats and lunges and deadlifts and push-ups and or presses and all these kinds of things, but you don't need to go through the full range of motion. Stop before the pain hits, right? Like stop before it hurts. If you can, if it hurts here, just go right to where it's about to hurt, and then come right up out of it. And you may actually begin to strengthen through the pain zone and improve your overall strength and tone. And you'll be living a better life, dude. Done.